Hello, this is David Gimberline with Kata for Self Defense and Shotoryu Goshinjutsu, and today is your beginner class number 5. So if you have not done the first 4 and you're just starting karate, you should review those or start with those, and then today is number 5. Today we're going to work on reviewing our stances a little bit and refining them, understanding the differences between when your hips are supposed to be straight and when they're supposed to be twisted sideways. We're going to review Heian Shodan and refine that a little bit, and we'll probably learn 2 new kicks, 2 thrust kicks. So let's get started. Feet together. We're going to start with a formal bow. It says up. And close your eyes, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. So. Right. Oh, they got it. Right. And out. Very good. Up. And we're going to warm up. So make sure you have room. Pick up one foot. Go around with your ankle and toes. Switch away. Other foot. Other way. Feet together around with your knees. Other way. Feet apart, run with your hips. Switch. Use your legs, pump your arms around. Switch. Cross. Twist. Take nice deep breaths. Look behind you. And stop. Kick up your heels. Put one leg out in front. Kick your back heel up to hit your hands 7 times. 1, swing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very good. Put your feet about hip distance apart. Turn your toes out. It's like they're in a line. Squat all the way down. And exhale. And come back up. And down. Back up. And down. Back up. And down. Back up. And down. Put your hands on the floor. Put your feet out behind you. An arch. Looking up at the ceiling. Breathe in deep through your nose. Out through your mouth. Push your hips back, touch your chest to the floor, turn your face to the side. Forward again. Arching. Pull your feet in. Squat it. Feet apart in the Kiba-dachi. Stretching down and forward. Back. Forward. Back, forward, back, reaching over one shoulder. Switch, side, switch, round with your torso. Switch. And stop. Turning to one side, thrusting. switch. Try to settle back into your heels so it gets heavier and heavier on the floor. Switch. Stretching deeper. Down, 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 down. Follow your foot. Drop your hip. Reach up. Open your arms like you're holding a big ball. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Twist, looking over your right shoulder. Touch your head to the floor by your front foot. And back up with a straight leg. We're going to reach down with our right hand. Try to touch your foot and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little deeper each time. 5, 6, 7. Other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And switch other way. Stretching deep. Follow your foot, drop your hip, reach up. Open the arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Twist. Look over your left shoulder. Touch your head to your front foot. And up. Reaching down with your left arm to your left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stretch over to one side. Switch, 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 switch and drop down. Switch, 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 and switch. Stay on this side. Rotate all the way over. Stretch the outside of your thigh towards the floor. Breathe deep. Back. Over. Back. Over. Back. Switch over to the side. Rotate all the way over. Stretch the outside of the thigh. Back. Over. Back. Over. Back. Over. And back. Pull your feet in. Squatting. Try to keep your spine nice and straight. Push your knees out so they face the same way as your feet. So you don't want your feet pointing that way and your knee coming in. You want to point the same way. While you're here, rise up on the balls of your feet just for fun. Drop back down. Put your hands on the floor. Straighten your legs. Roll up. Run with your hip. Switch. Side, side. Squeeze one knee up into your chest. Pull it in hard so your knee comes to your center this way. Switch. Leg. Switch. 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 And switch. Reach around behind. Grab an ankle. Pick it up. Switch. switch, and switch. Check out your legs. Turn to a uniform, if you have a uniform. Just a little review. Feet together with your heels in and your toes out. Out. Feet apart in ready position or uchi-uke. This way. Put both hands out. Pull your right hand back. Leave your left hand out, pointing at the target. Slowly extend your arms. 1. Brush your elbows along the side, punching towards your own solar plexus height. 2. 3. 4. A little bit of air out. 5. But not. 6. 7. It's too much air. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Imagine, as you punch, energy coming from your center forward towards the target. At the same time, as we've discussed before, imagine pulling this arm down into your feet. Leave this shoulder here. Do not let this shoulder travel back. 1, pull down. 2, pull down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to try punching from Kiba-dachi. So wherever you are, we're about second position here, you're going to step over. So you push your heels out and the outside edges of your feet are parallel. Bend your hip joint here, bend your knees, bend your ankles. Put your right hand out, left hand at your side. Imagine energy coming from your center forward to the target, punching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Try double punch. This is 2 punches in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Stand up, shake out your legs a little bit. Now we're going to switch stances from a front stance to a Kiba-dachi to a front stance to a Kiba-dachi. And at this point, as you may remember, Kiba-dachi has a 50-50 weight distribution. You're going to turn to one side or the other. I guess move to your left, so I'm like a mirror, punching with your right hand. Twist your hip so that you're in a front stance. And you're not truly punching to the side. You're kind of punching to 30 degrees, 45 will even be fine. Then come back to center and punch 2 times. 2. Now move off to your right and punch with your left. 1, twist your hip. Back to center. 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, we talked about before trying to make sure your body was stable. That is true when you twist and punch. This is still straight up and down as if I were standing. Don't reach with one side, don't pull one side way back. Also try to adjust your feet. So this is one of the harder things, and it's a thing we'll continue to work on today. But I can't leave my foot there, in this case my right foot, when I'm punching with my right arm. I didn't do very good. Leave it there and try to punch. It restricts your hip and knee. So you have to figure out how you can turn your foot. And it is fine if you let your heel go a little bit to twist your hip so that you end up in a better position. And then fix both feet to come back to center. Then twist again. And then come back to center. Right now, don't worry a lot about whether you're on the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, or the middle, or whether it's consistent. Because in this particular drill, I I do it different ways depending on which way I want to move a little bit, so I don't edge myself closer to my training partner or I don't edge myself forward as I train. So let's reach over here with your left arm, pivot and punch with your right. 1, back to center. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I talked about reaching with your drawing side first, and we're going to use that as a training method right now. During the draw, right here, you're going to adjust your foot a little bit. Just let it pivot when you establish your new direction. So you're going to go 1, now pull this hand through your hip, through your center to your back foot. 2, pull. Now reach out with your right, pull again. 3, pull, pull. Reach off with your right. Reach off with your right, adjust your foot a little bit. 1, back to center. 2, pull, pull. Reach and adjust a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. High up for a second. Shake out your legs. So this straddle leg position, straddle stance, some people say horse stance, some people say Nihonchi stance. It is a 50-50 weight distribution, and your feet are pretty far apart. Please make sure your knees stay between your center and your feet. They don't belong out here, and they certainly don't belong in there. You just want to be able to push against the floor down to your feet. When you switch, let's see how I can do this. When you switch to more of a front stance, so here I'm in Kiba-dachi, I'm just facing this way a little bit. I'm going to pivot this way. You have to let your weight shift from 50-50 to more of a 60-40. The weight's forward on this leg, but yet you want this foot to be heavy to take the impact of whatever you hit. So this is a difficulty with stances, is when they say 60-40, they mean if you dropped a weight down from the center, instead of being here 50-50, it would be towards the front. Okay, so 60% of your weight's here, 40% of your weight's here. And I talked before, it's like you're pushing on something. You just want this leg to be solid when you're pushing forward. But leaning doesn't work when you're not touching anything. Your balance is very poor. So they straighten your body up a little bit. Imagine your center is leading the way, it's in front. So we're going to try it again. Switching from stance to stance, please try to make sure you pull your drawing arm all the way back. Try to make sure you move your feet so they point the way they're supposed to point. Left hand out right into your side, pivot to your right, punch, pivot to your left, punching with your right. 1, pivot, back to center. 2, pull, pull. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ki on this punch, and ki on the second punch in the middle. Ready? Eat it! Eat it! Eat it! Eat it! Eat it! Eat Pressure forward from your center. Feet together, hand bow. And kick out your legs a little bit, relax. Shake out anything that feels stiff. Moving forwards and maybe backwards. I want to learn the difference between having my hips straight and twisted. So in most punches at the basic level, your hip is straight, especially in kata. With most blocks, your hip is sideways or halfway turned. They say hanmei in Japanese. So I'm going to do a couple drills to work on that. But as a basic rule for your basic kata, when you're punching, your hips are straight. When you're blocking, your hips are twisted sideways. And some people get really stuck on the idea that they have to be twisted 45 and they stop there. Some people keep trying to twist too far. You twist as far as you can and still maintain your structure. So anyway, we'll practice. Stepping and punching first, which we've done before, I want you to try to feel like your hip, and I'm talking about the bottom of your hip, is driving forward to meet the hand that's punching. This hip drives forward to meet this hand, and at the same time, this hand pulls backwards. So between them, they get really, really tight. So, put your left leg forward in a geto-badai. We're going to step and punch. 1 step, punch. 2, 3, 4. We're going to turn. Take your back foot, reach over 2 hip distances, pivot and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take your back foot, reach over, and turn. All right, so we're going to do this 2 counts. I like to do things in 2 counts. The first count, you're going to move forward past halfway until you feel like you're ready to launch your punch. So you may be 2/3 of the way out, 3/4, depending on what you're counting. And at this point, you're going to shock this hip forward as you punch. 2, that way. So that's the count, going forward and backwards. Left leg forward, get a badai. Move forward about 3/4 of the way through. 1, pull your elbows in. 2, finish your step. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Back leg over and turn. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right, we're going to try inside blocks with your hips twisted, and we might as well start with 2 counts. But if you remember from our earlier lessons, your elbows come together, your hands are crossed, this blocking arm is down low with the fist pointing down, then you twist your hip and it rotates out to the side. You want about a 90-degree bend here in your elbow, 1 or 2 fist distances between your hip and your elbow, and turn your body sideways. Moving forwards, left hand, left leg in front. 1, coil underneath, your knees and elbows are squeezing in. 2, pull apart. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Turn. Back leg over and turn. Inside block is fine. 1, squeeze. 2, twist. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Turn up. So on this twist, I'm going to talk for just a second. A lot of people talk about elbow to elbow. So when you pull your arms apart, they don't want you to stop here. They want you to think about twisting, 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 like your elbows are stretching towards each other. I like that concept. It is true. But if you can, think of it as lower, down in the back of your butt or from hip to hip. So it is true that this is pulling, but it doesn't pull your arms and shoulders apart. This stays intact, and your body twists and twists and twists and twists. But it's way sideways, not just a little sideways. way sideways. If you were here in person, I tell my students that you twist as far as you can, and if you're twisting too far, I will come tell you that you're twisting too far. It's also true of stances, that you should be bending your legs and as much as you can, and if you bend them too much, I will tell you. But most people end up here and not down in a nicer, deeper depth. So, we're going to do 2 step-in punches forward and 2 inside blocks. So, both 2 counts. Left arm, left leg forward. Move forward 3/4 of the way. You're about to do a step-in punch forward. 1, squeeze, your elbows are in, your knees are in. Push your left hip forward to meet your right fist. 2. 1, 2. Now you're going to do the inside blocks. 1, elbows and knees are in, and twist your body apart this way. 2. 1, squeeze together. 2, apart. Turn, downward block. 1, push your right hip forward. 2, 1, 2, inside blocks. 1, 2, 1, 2. Turn. Try 1 count. Let yourself drive forward with your hips nice and straight on the punches. 1, drive your left hip forward. 2, now twist. 3, 4, big twist. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn. Hopefully you're trying to teach your body the difference between your hip is straight and your hip is twisted. Now pay attention to your feet. Most of you, when you step and punch, are probably doing a good job of driving with this back leg forward. Your knee and your feet point towards the target. But when you twist, many people let your back leg flop out to the side. You end up this way. This should still be a front stance. Your hip is just twisted sideways. Some styles, some kata, do it differently, but for basics, you're trying to learn to control your legs and control the direction that you're creating. So here we go. Pay attention to your feet and your leg. 1, driving forward into the target. 2, driving forward. Now your hips are going to twist, but your leg drives forward. 3, twist. 4, twist. Turn. 1, 2, 3, twist. 4, turn. It's Kiai. Turn. Oh, turn it up. Highest. Okay, now we're going to try to work on the difference between front stances and back stances. And in place, it's very easy, right? In a front stance, you're driving your weight forward to meet the target. In a back stance, you pretty much stay here and put your hand and foot out in front. So your feet are pointing out at 90 degrees. We talked about that before, but it's always worth remembering. There's pressure out against your knee joints, not in. Whereas the front stance definitely has the direction going forward towards the target. The problem is when people are doing basics or kata, they tend to blur the two together, and it will help you to develop as if you can start paying attention as soon as possible to when you're in a front stance or a back stance or whatever stance you're supposed to be in. So we're going to do basically the same thing that we did before. We are going to do 2 techniques in a front stance and 2 techniques in a back stance. And I was going to do front oizukis again with your hips straight, but now I'm thinking I want to do rising blocks. So as you may remember, your rising block, your age-uki, your hip twists as your hand comes up. So we're going to do 2 of those in front stance. and then 2 back stances. And in this one, I'll try to do some sideways also, so we can see the difference more. So, left leg forward, Kiba-dachi. Rising block, stepping forward in a front stance. 1, twist and drive forward. 2, twist and drive forward. 3, knife hand block. 4. So I think I did that a little too quickly, but we'll break it down in just a second. Try it again going this way. Turning, rising block. 1, twist. 2, twist. 3, knife hand block. 4, turn. Okay, 2 counts each action. On the first count of your rising block, you're going to feel your inner thighs and your elbows coming together this way. 1, so this is like covering your face. This is about to be the block. Both elbows are squeezing in, both knees are squeezing in. Then twist and block. 2, let this rise up along, cover your face. 1, squeeze towards the center. 2, twist. Knife hand blocks. 1, coiling with your elbows and knees in. 2, out. 1, elbows and knees in. 2, out. Turn. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. We're going to do it again. I'm going to go sideways this time. I can only fit like 2 steps here though, so I'm going to be double stepping. That's okay though. Left leg forward. 1, rotate. 2, twist. Remember your back knee is still driving forward. 1, squeeze in. 2. Now we do our knife hand blocks. 1, squeeze in, twist and block. 2. 1, squeeze in. 2, twist and block. Push out against your legs. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Good job. Forwards and backwards, or forwards anyway. 1 count for each action. Rising block, knife hand block. Front stance, back stance, back stance. 1, let your weight drive forward. 2, drive forward. 3, stay here and block. 4, stay here and block. Turn. 1, 2, 3. Back stance. 4. Turn. 1, drive in. 2, 3. Stay here. 4. Turn. Let's try a couple with speed. 8. Last set. 8. Turn up. High rest. Very good. Okay, now we're going to work on Heian Shodan. We worked on this before, so just a quick review. The Kata is a series of movements against imaginary attackers. Heian Shodan kind of means peaceful, first level. Shodan means first level, like a Shodan is the first degree black belt. The Heian Kata, Heian Shodan, is done in the shape of a capital letter I with a short cross on the top and bottom and a long stem in the middle. So that should help you get back to where you were. So I'm going to do one facing away from you first. Maybe you can follow along a little better. And then I'll do one facing you. Feet together. Now, Heian Shodan. You say Heian Shodan. Boy, left foot, right foot. Off to your left, downward block. 1, step and punch. 2. Your foot now has to go way behind you, your right foot, and your whole body's going to turn and downward block that way. 1, pull and hit. 2, 3. Downward block towards the front. 1, in and out with your footwork. 3 rising blocks. 1, twist your hip. 2, 3, twist. Your body is going to coil together. Your left arm comes up. You turn and look behind you and downward block. 1, 2. Your right hand and right foot downward block this way. 1, 2. Back towards where you came from. 1. 3 stepping punches. 1, 2, 3. Knife hand blocks. So now you're going to, these are all front stances so far. Now you're going to stay in a back stance. 1, turn and block. 2, reach and block. 3, block. 4. Yep. And you should end up about where you started. Very difficult one where sidestepping around furniture or walls. Now I will do one facing you. See if this helps you any. For that matter, I will do a mirror image. So I'm going to move to my right, but it's going to be your left. So try to copy like a mirror and see how that goes. Out. Heian Shodan. Boy. To your left, downward block. 1, like a mirror. 2, behind you. 1, coil block, pull. 2, 3, to the front. 1, in and out. 3 rising blocks. 1, reach, block. 2, 3, turn and downward block with your left hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 3 stepping punches. 1, 2, 3. Turn the knife and block. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, all right, so that might have been confusing. I think it maybe helped on the first few moves, but as soon as we turned, I bet it didn't help you that I was a big mirror image. We are going to break each move down into 2 counts. I do this a lot with kata or with basics. And you're going to try to pay attention to your stance, which includes your feet and your knees pointing the right way, and whether your hip is rotated forward or sideways. And then all of the stances in this kata are front stance, except for the last 4, which are kou-kutsu or back stances. So I will face the same way as you again. Feet together, bow. Heian Shodan. Boy, left leg, right leg. On the first count, I want you to pivot your right foot in, look to your left, and coil this way. 1, so your knees are close together, and step out, downward block. 2, you're going to step 3/4 of the way through because your hips are sideways now. 1, squeeze. 2, drive with them straight. Straight hips. Coil. 1, squeeze and look. 2, hips are sideways because you're blocking. Pull and hit. 1, squeeze. 2, bottom fist strike. 3, whoops, I'm supposed to do 2 counts. 1, 2, there we go. To the front. 1, squeeze. Fix your foot so your right foot is pointed in, your knees pointed in. 2, drive. 3 rising blocks in 2 counts. 1, squeeze. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, turning. 1, pivot, turn your right foot so it points the right way and your knee is in, your elbows are close together, your body is straight up and down. Shock of the leg, downward block. 2, step and punch. 1, elbows in. 2, 2, 3 stepping punches. 1, squeeze elbows in, 2, 1, squeeze elbows in, 2, 1, 2. Now the knife hand blocks. Now you're going to keep your weight back. 1, turn and look. This foot can stay sideways because it's going to end up that way. 2, stick your hand and foot out and block. So most of your weight's still back. Move a little bit. 1, squeeze. No big movement here. Your legs are just squeezing together. Then pull apart. 2, stick your hand and foot out. Squeeze together and look over your right shoulder. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ayame. Ayame. Now we'll try all the moves 2 counts. I will do it the normal way, but I'm facing you. So you're still going off to your left, which is that way for you. Now, Heian Shodan. Boy, left, right. Coil and look. 1, prepare your feet. 2, 1, 2, 1, pivot so your foot's pointing the right way. 2, hips are sideways here. 1, pull. 2, 1, 2, 1, squeeze, look to your left, knees are in. 2, hips sideways. 1, squeeze. 2, 1, squeeze. 2, 1, 2, turning. 1, squeeze. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 4 knife hand blocks left. 1, prepare your legs, look over your left shoulder, reach with your right hand. 2, pull. 1, reach, 45. 2, 1, same right hand and right arm. 2, 1, 2. First. Through the kata again, this time 1 count each move. I think that you should still work on your twist or straight with your hips. You should still work on good position with your knees and feet, but also pay attention to your feet not being in line. So quite often, if people turn into a downward block, they end up with their feet on the same line, and they're supposed to be a hip distance apart, whether you're twisted or straight. So all the way through this kata, your feet are not in line except for the knife hand blocks. Then they are. So here we go. 1 count each move. Out. Heian Shodan. Boy, left, right. 1, coil block. 2, push, drive your hip forward. 1, squeeze, go. 2, 3, 1, 3 rising blocks. 1, twist. 2, twist. 3, twist. My hips are not in line, or my feet are not in line, they're still pretty good. Twisting this way. 1, make sure you reach over far enough so your feet aren't in line. 2, step and punch. 1, 2, step and punch. 1, in, out. Your feet are hip distance apart. 3 step and punches. 1, 2, 3. Knife hand blocks. These get to be in line. 1, squeeze. Put your left hand and foot out. 2, squeeze. 3, 4. 5. Okay, as I promised, now we're going to learn 2 new kicks. And they are really just variations of one kick. And they are thrust kicks. So far we have not done any thrust in our beginner classes. We're going to start with a back thrust. And it is one of the most useful techniques and most versatile techniques. And in its most basic form, it's very simple, very easy to do. Quite often, though, we do spinning back thrusts, which is much more difficult. But if you understand the basic concept, it turns out that that's not that hard either. So, the thrust kick, you are going to start, let's say in a coil, okay, front snap kick. You're going to stick your hip back and hit the target with your heel. So you can see the heel of my foot is hitting the target. It is important for your hips to be in front of your foot towards the target when I'm sitting in front. And your body stays relatively upright. Some people make a big mistake of dipping too much. Your stomach should go close to your thigh, not far away. So, at its most basic form, I do teach people to coil up first and then kick backwards. And the reason is that if somebody is right behind you, I don't know if you can see this, if they're very close behind you, like grabbing you, there might not be enough room to get any momentum to kick with. So you pick your foot up and drive it back with your hip into the target, and that would make it practical. If you have room, there's no reason you would just drive your foot back and hit the person. However, when you do learn to spin, if you have an understanding of this front snap coil position first, it also helps you learn to recoil. So anyway, your arms. You start with your arms signed in front of you in fists, and you're going to put them off to the side. And you're going to look over your shoulder. So this is similar to a fighting position or an augmented block. And I think it's important to train your arms when you do any kicks, because you want the muscle memory to be in the right place to help reinforce your action. So start here, pick your foot up like a front snap kick. This is 1. Twist or extend your hip backwards and thrust. 2. And come back. 3, and then down 4. Other foot up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As I do these, I think of things, and one thing I think of is that I do not want my hip to turn towards my target. So what I do want you to do at the point of impact is your hip is going to drive down into the floor this way. So your weight sits on your leg and you can use your muscle action to drive. If you're in a good position here and you turn, here, so I can put my foot on here, and I turn my hip towards the target, I lose my drive. I'm just standing up now. This is here, driving into the target. The surfaces there are not very good, so that's what made my kick awkward. And I don't want to kick my wall because I'll break it. Anyway, try a few more. Coil up. 1, thrust. 2, 3, recoil. 4, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, strike with your heel. Very common when I'm showing people how to do this is I'll look over and their foot's extended. Coil with your heel here. Stab backwards with your heel there. If your foot turns a little bit sideways, that's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. Some people say your toes have to point down to the floor. I don't think that's true. It turns out this position, this thrusting position right here, is very close to this position. And in this position, it's natural for your foot to be kind of 40 or 30 degrees off to the side. So I would think when you thrust it, it would be fine if your toes are off this way, and unnatural to make a point down. I would say, also don't let it point to the side though, because then you're letting your hip turn too far towards the target. So we are going to move backwards and thrust. So start here in a front stance. You're going to kick your heel to your butt, and then you're going to thrust backwards. So we're going to go 1, that's your coil, 2, thrust, and step back. 1, coil, 2, thrust, step back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to try just one count, coil and thrust. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you can't see behind you, don't worry about it. Just the edge of your eye should catch the edge of the motion. In spinning, if you do a spinning back thrust, there's a lot of debate about when your head turns, if it turns first, if it turns after, if it doesn't turn. And I talked to a guy who used to use the back thrust all the time in sparring and in tournaments. And I asked him what he did. And he said, I don't even look. If my foot doesn't hit the gi, then I missed. And I was like, okay. So basically he aims before he goes, boom, and then just shoots it. And other people, like Nishiyama often used to say, it's like shooting a gun or an arrow. You aim and go bang, and you shoot. You don't go bang and try to point where you're going. You just launch it at the technique. Arrow 2, boom, goes to the target. Not boom, oh, I wanted to go over there. You can't change it in course and still have it be effective. All right, a couple more back thrusts, I guess. I'll go down this way, I'll come back this way with ki-eyes. Thrust, 1, drop your hip and hit. 2, 3, 4. Ready? Ki-eye. Make sure you don't hit anything around you. It's a very strong technique, even if you hit by accident. All right, the next action is relatively new to our system. It's called a side kick, and it's not that we didn't do side kicks before, but before we did specifically side thrusts, so we did them in a very different way. With the lower belts now, they're teaching that you can cross behind and then basically back thrust and hit the target with your heel. So you can start in Kiba-dachi, cross behind and let your support foot pivot, or your kicking foot, actually it's going to be pivot as you cross and then hit. So you're going to be hitting with your front leg. So if this is my right leg, in this instance, it might be your left if you're a mirror. But you're going to move that way, turn your hip, and then thrust. We're going to go back this way. Turn your hip, and then thrust. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the whole thing. For your side thrust and back thrust are kind of the same thing for right now. They will be very different later. With the back thrust will spin, which I'll probably work on more in an intermediate class than a beginner class. And the side thrust you can learn to do from any coil, not just from this crossover technique. 2 more times through Heian Shodan, and pay attention to your feet position, whether your hips are straight or twisted, and your stances have to be truly front stances or truly back stances, not in between. There are, of course, 2 ki-s in this kata, as you know. We'll do them now. They are on the 3rd rising block and on the 3rd age-uki. Feet together. Out. Heian Shodan. Boy. H-E. H. Knee. On. H. H. Knees on. Knees on. We'll do one facing you. Having a bit of a problem with my left knee. I injured it a couple months ago. And I kind of thought it was all better, but every once in a while, it still feels very tweaky. So some of my stances, I'm shifting my weight a little bit different, and some of them are a little short. But if you're a beginner, you probably don't know that. So just do the best you can. Heian Shodan facing you. Kata, Shodan, boy. H, A, H, knees on. H, H, knees on. Very good. Thank you all for training. If you could please like the video and subscribe to the channel, it will help. Also, if you have questions or suggestions, you can write to me either in the comments below or at gimberline@hotmail.com. Thank you all for training. Please try to stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.